Okay then, Helldivers, we are back. We have got loads to go over today as Miss Baskinator herself comes in bearing patch notes for patch 01.002.103, and this one's an interesting one with the new stuff from the latest War Bond. We've also got the F-Cape now available for you guys. We're going to take a look at it, and we now have a decent question that we want you guys to answer in the comment section below. We're going to dive into everything we've got happening today. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful like button and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. And also a massive shout out to our winner of the latest giveaway. Do you know what? We're going to run another one, so let's get involved with it right now. If you want to get involved for the highest bundle of super credits and want to get yourself a free war bond with some excess over, head down to the comment section and put in a purple love heart, because the Illuminate are definitely coming. That'll enter you in, and we'll announce it in a video a couple of days from now. Let's dive into the game and see what it is that's happening as we go in. So let's take a look at the Galactic War Table and see what it is that's happening inside of the game today. As of right now, Meridia is getting awfully close to Angel's Venture. This is looking to be quite a head-on collision by the looks of things. What this actually means for the game and what it is that's going to happen, we'll have to wait and see. But every single day, Meridia seems to be getting closer. Now, at the moment, the dark energy meter does seem to be bugging out left, right, and center, so a lot of you guys may not actually see it. Sometimes if you reset the game, it will work. As of right now, I'm having a few struggles with it, but it does appear that we're on about 75% still, as you guys are knocking out Illuminates left, right, and center. We do have a couple of planets as of right now with a few hours remaining of Iro, and then a bit more in the southern region. For the next couple of hours, we also have Sheet. This is absolutely incredible, and I can't wait to see what happens, but your personal order for today is to kill 500 Illuminate, which should be all so easy. Grab a Gatling gun and hit the streets, my boys. Hit the streets. Going into your super store, though, as of right now, we have got the UF-84 Doubt Killer, which obviously has the unflinching passive and all of the stuff that goes alongside it. So if that one is a bit of you, then feel free to go ahead and grab it. But with that being said, let's see what it is that the Baskinator's bought for us, as patch notes seem to be running rampant. Now, in the Baskinator's latest post, we seem to have quite a lot going on. She puts an overview right here, which is quite an interesting one, that reads, "Hello everyone, it has been an interesting week with the patch that had a few unexpected slip-ups. After testing and balancing, the wrong versions of some files for our new Warbond items were shipped, which wasn't part of the plan. Misaligned scopes also made a unwelcome return, albeit in a new form. Some bugs really are persistent, aren't they?" Silently stares off into the distance. So we are even double checking the scale of the LAS 16 sickle just to be sure. On the key points for this one, we have got quite a lot to look into, as the balancing patch seems to be running in for the double-edged, the magazines, ultimatum, and so many fixes to put into it. When we look at what it is that they've changed, though, with the primary weapons of the LAS 17 double-edged sickle, we have got quite a few changes right here. Now, this is obviously going to be one of those that you will take in a bit of a heat when you take a look at it at first, but we're going to give you guys a rebuild of what it is that's happening. It states, "We've rebalanced the weapon to make the risk-reward dynamic more impactful. The goal is to ensure it feels like a truly powerful weapon, while properly balancing the self-damage mechanics to reflect its high-risk nature. In the current live version, we felt it lacked both the punch and the level of risk we wanted, and we didn't feel it really lived up to our intent." Now, the old movement that we have is quite an interesting one, which is 0 to 25% heat was at AP3. This one obviously meant that you dealt 0 damage to the player per second. The 26 to 90% heat was AP3 as well, dealing 10% damage a second to players, and the 91 plus was also AP3, and it dealt 50 damage each second to players, plus the fire status effect. Now, the new numbers on this one are quite interesting, as we now have a new AP going into the midst for it, and they've split this down a little bit further, meaning the end of the barrel is going to be even more stronger. The 0 to 25% heat of this one is AP2, so we are losing a bit of power in that first 25%, which you shouldn't feel too much, as it does deal 0 damage to you guys. 26% to 50% is now AP3 at 55 damage, dealing 10-second damage per player. And then we've got 51 to 90% heat is at AP3 with 70 damage. So already we have an increase on this one. but the AP is still at 3. Deals 20 damage per second to players, and the final plus 91% heat is now at AP 4 with 70 damage, which will mean this will rip through the shields of any Illuminate, dealing 50 damage per second to players plus the fire status effect. This for me is a positive move. That first 25% may not be all that strong. I mean, it's pretty much useless, but if you keep that trigger down for just a couple of seconds, you are soon enough going to feel the power of what the double-edged sickle holds. At first glance, you guys may think this is a bit of a nerf, but it is exactly what it states on the tin. It's a bit of a double-edged blade. This one is a negative and a positive, depending on which part of the magazine you're actually firing from. So I personally really like this one. I think that this is a really good change, and I think that they've done it very, very well. There's a lot more risk for a lot more reward, and in the earlier doors of this weapon, it means that it's going to be a little bit more negative to get the more positive towards the back end of it. Let me know your opinions down in the comment section below. But with the magazines on it, your starting magazines have increased from 1 to 2, and the spare magazines have increased from 2 to 3. With the sidearms though, we have got the ultimatum. Now this one is an interesting one, as it goes on to state that we have seen a lot of mixed player feedback for this weapon, and how certain players feel it trivializes some of the harder contests, while others feel it plays just fine and is a great addition to the game. We have carefully opted for an approach where we'd like to reduce the ease of access to additional ammunition while maintaining the weapon's core identity as a powerhouse. This means players will need to put in more effort and strategy to maximize the efforts at the cost of some armor and boost synergy for the specific weapon. We will continue to monitor these changes, so please keep providing us with feedback. The GP31 ultimatum is no longer influenced by the Hellpod optimization booster or the Siege Ready armor passive. Now for me, that is not really much of a negative. Obviously, we know full well that the Hellpod optimization booster essentially means that when you do respawn, you respawn with full ammo, meaning that you are just going to be rinsing and repeating this ultimatum consistently, and with it holding the exact same statistics as an orbital precision strike, I think that that would be a little bit over the top, to say the least. And I think that actually, as far as a quote-unquote nerf goes, the fact that it's not affected by certain boosters and or armor passives, I think is actually the best way to go about it. The weapon still kicks an absolute horse punch, and it's still going to do really well, but unfortunately the passives now won't actually accumulate for this one. Let me know your opinions on this one down in the comment section below. And for those of you guys who were wondering, even though we were at the studios, this was not a change that we were actually aware of. When we take a look at fixes though, they have fixed the top priority issue where they fixed a bug where the scope aim center was misaligned with the projectiles of fire trajectory, affecting all weapons, but most noticeably when aiming down sight, so the ADS for this one. That was a really, really big one, and something that we definitely needed to have change at some stage or another. Moving into the crash fixes though, there were a few fixes in here that you guys can see on screen currently. I don't really like going through all of the crash fixes, as a lot of them are situational, but there are some decent ones there indeed. With the weapons and stratagems, they fixed an issue where you could accidentally arm the B100 portable Hellbomb backpack when entering the FRV. That's now obviously fixed. And a couple of miscellaneous fixes as well that were issued down to level generation, where some objective terminals could not become non-interactable, and also the integrated explosives armor passive sometimes not triggering at all. So it's pretty damn good. Overall, I think it's a positive change, and I'm relatively happy with it for the most part, but let me know what you guys are thinking via the comment section below. Moving forward though, you've now all got the access to the FCAPE, as that was unlocked later yesterday afternoon, so that is now something you guys should all be able to log in and receive. Massive shout out to them for that one. And we've got a question for you guys that I want you to flood the comment section with. I saw this comment over on Reddit and I thought it was a hilarious question to put in there. It states, combine 2 stratagems to make the most horrific monstrosity possible. I'll go first, and yes, that's the airburst with the cluster on a mortar. No. That is horrendous. But I am intrigued to know what combinations you can come up with, so let me know via the comment section below. A horrendous concoction of 2 stratagems that you could compile to make life 10 times worse. And moving into your top comments right here, we had some interesting ones, and one that I'm actually really happy to read. This one right here states, 520 Helldiver. Hey, I found a cool sample. Shipmaster. What kind? Diver with the Illuminate Overseer. It's complicated. Yeah, that was a very hilarious one, as the Overseer players have been making it onto the Super Destroyer via a recent bug. Hopefully that one gets sorted soon. This next one right here states, thank you for timestamps. Now, yes, I am going to definitely try and remember to put these in, although again, like I said in the last video, I'm only human, so bear with me a little bit. Sometimes I may miss them. I do apologize. But we're going to have those timestamps running in the videos from now on. And next up, this one states, they need dedicated melee slot for the shovel and other stuff. Now, I do think that a dedicated melee slot would be pretty damn cool. I'd love to be able to run a melee slot in every single build that I have, although it's not always a viable option, and it means that you will probably end up getting bored of having it if you're able to have it in every run. You have to actually have the slot available for that one, with it being the secondary, and I think it works quite well, but that's just my personal opinion. Let me know your opinions down in the comment section below, but unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today. We're going to be live later on, testing out the patch and seeing exactly how it is that it works, and hopefully you guys will join us. Thanks again for watching, guys. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, appreciate your faces, and as always, I'll see you in the clouds.